You're on mute.
Matt, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was just saying we're back again. We're a little bit tired.
Perfect intro.
Working all day. So bear with us. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to take you through some of the animation stuff. I'll take you through some of the art that I've done so far, and then I might let the others show some of their stuff if they want to as well later. But we're going to try and animate a character as well, so this one might take a little bit. But I've got until dinner arrives before I call it quits and continue in the background. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this comes up for everyone. Now, let me just get to the right tab and add it in. Okay. Why is it not my browser? Let me try that again. I'm sure you guys don't want to see the code just yet. Let me go whole screen. There we go. We're in business. Cool. So we've been tracking our progress through this blog. I'm going to paste a link in the chat as well for anyone that wants to follow. So let me grab that link and post it across to everyone. There we go. Thanks, Paul. So progress through the day. We've shared a little bit about the ideation that we went through in the live stream earlier this morning once they announced the topic. A quick recap for anyone that's just joining in this evening is the theme for Pygame. My screen's not matching up again as well. That's really odd. It's not actually flicking to what I go to next. Let me do one thing. I'm going to have to close my screen share. I might hand to you, Paul, for just 2 minutes. I think what the difference is because I'm using Firefox, not Chrome. The screen sharing is not coming across properly. So I'll just change browsers and we'll give it a go.
You're on mute, Paul.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, as Matt said, we've been documenting or just like putting some little snippets on our blog that provide us a couple of little updates. We managed to get a couple of characters on screen, like just blocks of characters and some shooting. And then we ended up spending about an hour or so refactoring the mess that we made, which we think we're probably going to have to refactor again a little bit more. But you know, it's starting to come together, and we've got some things happening. Back to Matt, who seemed to have got it all up, and he can go ahead and talk now. I think it's looking proper now.
Yeah, things are actually scrolling on my end, so that's a good sign. Yeah, so we were talking about the theme beforehand. The theme is old games with a twist. So we've got to pick an old game with a twist. We picked Alien Carnage or Halloween Harry, depending on which version you might have played when you were younger, but it was a really fun game. It's kind of like aliens taking over the world, stealing our babes. The aliens, the only thing they didn't really touch after they decimated the planet was the vending machines. So you can top up your fuel and eat, strangely enough as well, outside of saving the babes. I think it was made by 3D Realms back in the day. But we all remember it, so we picked that one as an old game that we'll give a twist to. And we've decided the twist is going to be placing it in the Wild West, having basically Harry travel in time, go back to the Wild West. So we're tracking everything through this blog. You've got the link from beforehand. But the last session that we had was around Pygame Collision section. So that's a little bit that I might let Paul recap on very quickly, or Aaron, depending on who wants to.
Maybe we'll just like we've refactored this already, but this was just saying for every single item, like as we fire bullets out, we add bullets into a group.
Yeah.
And when you have like a group of sprites, you can then execute like a specific update on every single item within that group of sprites automatically there. So basically, okay. I was saying if there's get me all the collisions between anything that's in that group of bullets and myself, and determine whether there was a collision between those two. And for each one of those collisions, remove the bullet. So actually what this was I think this was being passed in as self was the enemy. So if there was a collision between a bullet and the enemy, for every single bullet within that collision, we'll remove that so the bullet goes away, but also we'll increment the score up by 10. So I'd sort of like that was a quick little snippet, but figuring that out took a little while. If you click on that link, that clip, Matt, yep, that's like a 10-second video or so, a 20-second video. So you can sort of see what I was how I was playing with that there. Well, basically, I went ahead and ran the program, which said if the grey box was Western Harry, and the pink box is the enemy, and the orange blobs that are shooting out are supposed to be the bullet. You can see that if the bullet will leave this go and fire off the screen, it'll delete itself. If the bullet hits the pink, you can see that it clears itself off. And if you had been looking down the bottom, you would have seen that score was incrementing as well. So every time there was a collision, it would increment the score as well.
Yep. And I think you can see it back in my ID as well.
Yep.
So we had a running example of this as well. I might bring the picture that I've done very quickly into this, but I'll get it up and running first. So I've just hit the run button. It takes a couple of seconds to launch, and it's appeared on the wrong screen. So I'll just drag it down. Here we go. Ooh. Here we go. So I can move with the keyboard and mouse, arrow keys, spaces to fire. You can see the IDEs jumping with the score. So you can see we've got a bit of movement. The graphics are looking really slick. So it's going to be something that we're going to play with in a second. So I might kill this. And what I wanted to talk about was the character that I've been working on, which is this character here. So I probably started late afternoon on him. Halloween Harry, for people that saw beforehand, is a little more bulkier than this. I might just bring that image up that I had on before. Bring it down here and go to the blog very quickly. Just to give you a refresher very quickly, but you can see that he is very muscular. And as a character, if I try and zoom in as much as possible, just to get down to the gameplay picture, you can see he's got like big beefy muscles, and he's got like very big parachute type pants. I wanted to go with something a little more stylized, and I realized he had a very high pixel count, so I wanted to keep it a lot simpler. So I made this guy. So he's our time traveling Harry. I've given him the helmet and the microphone that he had beforehand. I've given him the same pants and the same t-shirt that he wore. I took the armor from Halloween Harry 2 because I thought the armor helped make him stand out. So I actually took that from the newer version of the game as a bit of a look. I tried to buff out the arms a little bit. I gave him a shotgun. I wanted him to be like small from the bottom, but then a bit more built in the middle to kind of show that he was muscular. I don't know if I've quite achieved that yet. You guys can let me know in the chat. But that's kind of where we got to. And in terms of the process, I'll get rid of that zoom so we can go back to normal size. I always start with like a silhouette. So I try and sketch out a shape to make the character. And you can see that I managed to get that shape when I started to apply colors, and this is kind of like how it came out, right? So it's basically, it doesn't look anything like that, really. And I hadn't put the cowboy hat on yet, but as I sketched out the colors and put the cowboy hat on, like he started to look a bit more like he was coming to life. I still felt like he needed a bit more color, so we gave him like a little badge on the top of his hat. I did change a little bit of his hat design as well, based on some advice the wife gave. And then there's the cowboy stirrups that you use for kicking horses. So they're actually supposed to be down towards the bottom of the boot, but it just looks strange. So I moved it up to a little bit higher in the boot than that was natural. And that's part of the thing is like we only have 1 pixel, so we got to place it where it artistically looks best versus being like practical, because no one would be able to tell it was a stirrup if it was down there. And then the last thing is I felt like his hands were quite disconnected from the shotgun. So what I did is I made a little finger layer, and then I kind of like wrapped his hand around the gun a little bit better. and I buffed his muscles at that point as well, so you can see he's a bit more beefy. So that's kind of where I got to. If we go back to the character itself, I've broken it up into a whole bunch of layers. So I've got base color, that base layer that I mentioned beforehand, and then I've got all the parts on different layers. So I'm hoping that's going to make life for the animation quite easy. But what we might do first is let's just test it in the game engine. So I'm going to just export. And hey, Zane, I can see you're on.
Is that the one with the hat? Where's the hat gone, Matt?
Oh yeah, we need his hat. I'll have to scroll up, and yeah, he needs all this extra detail. There we go. Good catch. So if I export him, let's go export, and I don't care, don't care. I love how it tells me like 50 different things. Actually, the thing I did care about was where did that actually save? So I might just have a quick hunt. I reckon it'll be in iCloud, Documents, in here. And let's just double check. So modified 741, this must be it. So I'm going to take this character and I'm going to copy him into the development folder, Pygame. We're putting the assets into this assets folder, sprites, enemy, and I'll drop them into player. We might use this as the idle, maybe, to start. So let's just paste them in here. And following the naming conventions, I'll just call them 01. So if the code's smart enough to work out that there's not 3 pictures in one picture, we'll know in a second. So let's see. And we'll also see if he's like disproportionate to the rest of the game as well, because he might be a very different pixel size to what was being used before. I can check that as it launches actually. So yeah, I've just launched the game. I'm just going to have a look at the jump. 28 by 36. It's a weird size. 28 by 36 as well. Okay, so you might actually look okay in it. So I'm just waiting for Pygame to warm up again. Oh no, here we go. Let's see, it looks like we've got an issue.
Is that because you put the 0 in front of it? Just change it back to 1.
Yeah, maybe. Should really start at 0 though, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's meant to be 0 actually. It should be 0.
It is supposed to be 0.
The
okay,
file
cool.
is meant to be 0, yeah.
Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, it looks like we're in luck. Keeps wanting to default to the other Mac screen, but here we go. So you can see we have a character. Every time we make him do something, he disappears into one of those boxes. That's because the only sprite that we've imported for him's in the idle folder. So when he's sitting there standing still, that's what he looks like. Everything else is just using the beautiful default programmer art to let us know that the actions are actually working. But if he shoots as well, like it looks like it's working, scoring points, even though he's idle, he can shoot.
If you take the picture of the guy and just move him a couple of pixels left and a couple of pixels right, and then add those as 2 and 3 for idle, he should move backwards and forwards, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So that was my next test. So you're ahead of the game. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in a new frame. And So these frames are the same, so I can play them. It's exactly the same. But what I want to do is I want to maybe play with the torso, right? So let's see. I'll just move the tablet so it's a little more in front of me, and I'll grab the pen this time rather than using the mouse. So if we want to grab his torso, actually, wait, I think I've, because it's broken out, I can actually just use the move tool. It's an interesting animation. So I might have to move his arms as well as I do this. So let's see how this looks, right? So that's the normal one. And then when he goes down, and I do have a separate layer here for the fingers, so I'm going to have to move that as well. So that finger, it's going to have to move there. And I'll just have to go back to the arms and match that up. And I might actually have to move the gun as well, just to make it fit. So I'll go to the gun. Yeah, let's see how this looks. So you can see it's a very slow process to animate. I might put the green layer in as well. It's probably going to make it easier because the gray background doesn't really help. Yep, so the next thing that I'll probably do is I reckon I do need to move the head as well. And if I move the head, I'm also going to have to move the cowboy hat. So I'll scroll up. Let's see how that looks.
Not quite, Matt.
Not quite.
I don't know. The hat looked funny. Okay, shot now. Yeah, that's kind of looking okay.
So he's kind of bobbing. This is really moving him like 1 pixel, right? I feel like I should do something with his legs. I'm trying to work out what I want to do with his legs. How do we want to do it? What I want to do.
Is that him firing the shotgun?
That's just him standing there, you know, like sort of bobbing side to side, you know? Just
But it
an
won't run
idle
that
movement.
fast, yeah?
What's up?
It's not going to run that fast, though.
No, it's not going to run that fast.
I think it would, but we would have to programmatically
We'll have to slow it down,
to not change every single iteration.
You don't want it on every frame change.
Yep.
So what I could do is I could put a second frame in, right? That's the same.
You almost want it like every 2 seconds or something, so it's more of a... Yeah, that's better.
And so what I could do as well is we could play with like doing something with the leg, right? If we wanted to. Let's just see. He looks like he's kicking. So let's see what that looks like now. He's still moving his leg, is he?
What happened to his legs, man?
They just disappeared for that single frame. Just going to do the reverse button. Yeah, that's kind of what we want. That's actually quite a cool undo history, really, when I think about it. Shall we see what he looks like inside the game? So I can save him.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's bring him in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go export all frames. The output file, I might just map directly into our directory, right? So let's go into the game. And let's go 0. I'm sure this is not what we want, but we'll see. So it's going to overwrite 0.
Do you need to export in transparent?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll hit cancel on that. One, two. Okay, cool. So I actually think it was smart enough to work out the framing. That's cool. So if we now go into PyCharm, I'm in the alien directory, but let's just double check the player directory. So we've got images come in, and I might just add that one to Git. Let's have a look what it looks like. Okay, here we go. It's popped up. So that's some idling. What do you reckon? You're on mute, Paul.
His legs look super skinny, but that could just be the brown from the boots. But like a small little change like that makes it look much better. Like, yeah, it's much better than it was just standing there.
Yeah, let's have a look. So where has the background color been defined? Right. Let's tweak that. So game.
Is that in globals? I think
you've got globals as a separate file. Ground color. Oh, it's the view. It's the view background color, isn't it? That I want to try.
Yeah.
Try change.
Yeah, that's it. That was brown there.
Yeah. So 150. 150. 220. That will make it like a light green, if I remember correctly. Let's see.
You need to run on the main Pi.
It should automatically run on the main Pi.
Oh, you're running PyCharm. My bad.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Okay, it looks cool.
Yeah, that looks cool. Like he's like, I'm ready. And then after 5 minutes, maybe if we can be bothered, like 7 years later, if we're still working on the game, we can give him a book to read. Like he picks it out of his pocket and starts reading, standing there. And then maybe he goes face on, right? Like I remember those games. But
Yeah.
the bobbing animation is always, what? This guy's trying to go after me. I'm going to kill him.
I think we need to
Oh
add
yeah, that's the AI. There's AI there. Like
Yeah, I
need to
noticed that. I
add-
was like, you didn't tell me you were working on that.
need to add a an on-click state to that sprite so that when you click him, it says, "Yes, my liege." What
Yes,
do you
my
want? Stop clicking me. You remember that in the
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
Warcraft?
Yep.
Yes,
my
my
lord.
liege. Yes, my
That looks
lord.
really cool.
Stop clicking me.
What's the time? Let's see how long I've got till food arrives. Maybe we can give him a walk animation next.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we got time.
I just realized the doorbell's gone. Let me
It just
text
did.
the wife. Let's see how long this takes anyway. We'll give it like 5 minutes and see how fast we can make a walk. So the issue that I've got here is this really needs to be like a group, right?
To group a bunch of things together.
Yeah, because this is kind of like the maybe I can add a tag. So to me, this is the idle animation set. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the application actually works like as expected. I love that when that happens. And what we want to do is we want to go like a new frame, but this is going to be outside of idle. And we're going to change that frame's properties, try and change that tag. This tag is going to be walk or run. It's run, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So how do I remove? Okay, cool. So run's now context. Does run. What I want to do is I want to copy all these, right?
And then update the legs.
You did a copy, but how do you do the paste, Matt?
Yeah, that is the question that I'm asking myself. So is that
How did you duplicate it before? How did you copy it?
well? You just go new frame, and it starts from.
Oh, it starts from the last frame.
Previous frame.
So pick the previous frame as do new frame that you want with the bob. So the bob is in there as part of the legs moving, and then just move them over.
While you were doing that, I've just posted up my blog post for the day as well, explaining the game screen mechanics.
Nice. I really want like a full copy of this frame, right? So duplicate link cells. No, that puts it across. I still remember it used to be like you just copy basically, copy over top, but that's not seeming to work for me today. So that's still the other animation. Okay, let's just see this. I think I've got it here. So if I go new frame and then make idle to 4. Yeah, now we're in business. So I go new tag and then I'll do run. And we're going to have a new frame after that. So this is the same. And we're going to play with the legs the most. So if I go into the app, what we're going to do is we're probably going to have to redraw bits of this, right? So let's grab I think this is actually going to be a redraw exercise, which is okay.
I think this time you should make that right leg a little bit thicker. It gets super skinny in the middle there, with that where it's got that 1 pixel bit of jankiness.
Which one?
You see that right leg there? It's so skinny. Just down 1 more pixel.
Oh, there?
No, the right leg. Yeah.
That bit?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, could do. Let's trying to think. So he doesn't have any legs. There's an onion skin mode that I'm thinking that I might turn on. So it kind of tells me, yeah, here we go. This is where his leg position was before. And so what I can do is I can kind of go in and I can go there we go. That's what I wanted. Just trying to get the color picker to work. So if we wanted to fix that leg paw, like we could go like this, right? Dump, and then dump. But we probably want to get rid of that then, don't we? And that looks like a little bit flat.
No, I think that looks that you can't it like that is kind of okay.
Yep. Might put the green back on it as well, just so we can see what we're doing here. So we might actually carry that across each of the frames as well, right? Like this is where pixel art becomes really, really tedious. So if I wanted to come across here, like I've got to do it for each. I've lost his body again.
This literally will take hours.
Yeah, this does take hours. So that's my point. It's a very tedious, slow process to do this stuff. So if we go back, like we've fixed his leg up, but I've got to paint that in there, that in there. I can select and copy across all, but I do notice that sometimes it doesn't work too well for me. So he's got no legs now, right? And so I can turn on that onion skin mode.
So you can see like the frames before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So legs always need to be balanced. I might need to find a reference for this again. There's a walk animation sketch that I always like to use. I'll bring it down and show everyone.
Is that the one we looked at this morning?
It's just the series from Google.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can do a lot less. Like you go like you go like Mario walk animation, right? And you can see like he's only like 3 frames really in reality. Or 4 frames.
4 frames,
So,
yeah.
No, 3 frames.
3 frames.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It is 3 frames. So it's like legs in the middle, leg up, and then like leg kick out, leg in.
That's pretty much all we need.
Yeah, it is for this. So maybe I'll use that as a bit of reference. So we've already kind of got him like leg kick out, right? Like, but if I go by what we just saw, what I need to do is I need to lift the leg up. So this one's not touching the ground anymore. So it probably means comes in like that, right? And then what I need to do is I need to steal the color of the brown to kind of have the boot, off of the ground. And then this other leg kind of comes in more as well. So this is going to look probably messy to begin with, but it's always the case. So we need to create some definition around that. So I'll just grab the darker color from the other frame and might use that pixel there so I can reference it later. I might grab the darkness of the pants as well and just use that so I can cherry pick the colors later. Because basically what's happened is this leg's lifted up. And looking at Mario, and let's go. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just use the shadow to work out which leg's what for now. So this one's lifted up. This one's firmly on the ground. Steal the yellow color. Steal the shoulder pads because they'll need to come back in, or the leg pads. So put those there. I want to get that highlight brown that I had as well. I think it was up here. So there's another brown that we can use. And then I want to steal that light colored blue. So I've kind of got all the colors for the character here. And what we'll do is, let's get the shape looking right. So he's going to be stepping forward with this boot. And this is kind of going to be do I not have that brown? We'll put that brown down. There we go. So this is going to be like lifted up, right? So maybe what I'll do is I'll take this pixel out though. So the boot's getting lifted up more. Because you've got very like little space to work out what to do when it comes to pixel art, right? And it's like about getting it to look okay. Now, like the knee pad's like a big thing, so that could be square. This knee pad's going to be less visible. So this knee pad's going to be like that. I know it's blending into the background color. And then what we could do is we could delete these pixels. Kind of need them though, like he's looking a bit chunky. We kind of need those pixels to represent the boot. So maybe what we'll do is go like that, and the onion skin is removing a sense of what this looks like. So his leg needs to be thicker. Let's lift it up. That needs to stand out more. And then we've got space there. Bring color back into the boot. So bring the highlights back in.
I've had a couple of people pop into the room. Dahan, Raw Coders, Zane.
Nice. Got a few people there. The thing that I feel like needs to change is I need highlights on his pants. I need to take away this like weird pattern. So that's been lifted up. So that could actually go like that. And then if I pick some
You know what? If you squint, it actually looks a lot better.
yeah, it's like a fine art. Like you just cherry picking because you've literally only got like what 20 pixels to make a leg, right?
Yeah.
So, but the other thing is sometimes it just looks bad, but then you play it and it kind of
That's
looks
all right.
fine. Not in this case, but in other cases.
You get the idea, though.
I mean, it looks better than him standing still and just moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how the pros actually, like, how many hours they would spend just in designing a couple of keyframes for a character.
Way too many.
Yeah.
But also remember that, like, if you're doing it every day, they're probably like 100 times faster.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
but still.
It's still tedious work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything, right? Like anything that's good is hard typically, or it takes a long time, a lot of effort involved.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But basically, the next thing that's needed is the legs actually switch places, right?
So you need now the back leg comes out to the front, and the front leg goes to the back.
Yeah, that's right. So I can fix that up in a little bit. Actually, what I might do is I'll just put his leg over here and then chop out this leg. And we have to play with the shapes here, but that kind of works. My biggest worry with these things is like you make a change and like has a global impact. So
Are your legs on different layers, or are both legs on the same layer?
both legs are on the same layer.
So once you kind of blend them together, you're stuck with one object.
Yeah, that's right. Let's look at what this looks like. Yeah.
Looks like he's throwing his boot off because you've got your little pallet on the side. It looks like his boot comes flying off.
Yeah, that's right. I might actually steal that palette, and I might copy it across to here as well. So now we're probably going to do some major erasing jobs, right? Like so. Let's get rid of that selection. Like let's go. Let's erase all of this. And what we need to do is we need to kind of like pick
So
this.
Roll Code has asked the question: is that a cowboy?
Yeah, that's good that it looks like a cowboy. That's exactly what it is. That's
Just to
like
answer that, yes, it is. We're remaking an old game, and I posted in the link to our update blog, so you can go ahead if you've come in a little bit late. And basically, we're trying to do a remake of Halloween Harry / Alien Carnage.
Yep.
But we're giving it a Western theme. So he's Halloween Harry, but he's Western Harry.
So he actually needs to come out like a little bit more, I reckon. He's just missing volume here, but then he looks like a flat surface if I do that. That looks better. And then put some edges around it, put some highlights in. That I think actually needs to move over here. So what I can do is I can do that. And maybe that mixed with that. And then maybe what I'll do is I'll just that knee pad's too far down. So I'm going to slice that out. Knee pad needs to be like here. I've got the same problem on the other side, actually. But maybe what I need to do is I need to grab the knee pad color and then just give it a bit more. Let's see. So I need to lengthen that from frame 5 to frame 7. And then I can watch the... So he's getting there, I guess. So the other thing that he kind of needs is a bob, right, with his hands. I think we do the same thing again that we did with the shotgun, but instead of moving all of it, what we want is we want the shotgun to move across one, and then shotgun to move back. And then the finger will need to move across one. And the arms will need to move across one as well. And the torso. And the head. Just everything. So that includes the hat and the head. So if we play it now, it's a little bit more dynamic, right?
What about those 2 green pixels? Fix those ones up, man, on his pants.
Oh, he's just got holes in his pants, that's all. He's a cowboy.
Okay.
Wouldn't you see his legs?
So is that...
Just add some skin color so it looks like legs. I mean, so it looks like it is actually holes.
Yeah, it is holes. That's okay. Holes I can fix. You know what? I've done that on the head layer. This is where I always get confused. So let's go to the legs layer and let's just repeat that again. Okay, so let's just... Okay. So what does that look like if I do the wrong animation?
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. Still needs a bit of work. Now I know my dinner's ready, so what I might do is I might export it and just see what it looks like in the game. So I'm going to grab these 3 frames.
You need to hide your palette. Did you hide your palette?
Yep,
of the
I'll have
frames?
palette. There we go. Let's export and let's go all visible layers, but we're going to export just the run frame. These tags work really well in this program. This is like well thought out compared to animating in Photoshop, which is a little more basic. In saying that though, where did it export it to? Did it just override my one? It probably did, didn't it? 1, 2, 3. No, it hasn't. Good. So animation direction. What I want to do is I want to put it in the run folder. Save over this one. Export, and let's just have a quick look with the mouse.
It did go over the top of the map.
Yeah, that's okay.
So you'll have to switch the idle ones back, and you left the palette on as well.
I've got the palette as well. Yeah, I was just about to say the palette's there. It was handy, but you need to go, old friend. Okay, so I'll save, and then let's do the exports. So this is in the run folder. Grab the run animation, straight export, export again, idle animation, go to the idle folder, save on the top there, export. Now let's kill that session and start up another one in PyCharm. I might move this to the iPad and keep drawing tonight, I reckon. See how this looks. Okay, so it's launched. Bring down for everyone to see.
It's getting there.
Yeah, there needs to be more movement above the legs, actually, looking
Probably,
at like
yeah.
torso.
Maybe
Yeah.
a couple more frames in the legs as well.
Yeah,
It just sort of
rather
looks
than the
like,
Mario ones.
yeah.
Have you guys limited amount of bullets that I can shoot?
Yeah,
100.
you've
I
shot
use
them
those
all.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
You need to collect the ammo power up that we haven't added yet.
We'll have to
the
limit
indoor
how
one.
many bullets you can fire out. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll have
Because
to have a counter or something that like slows it down.
you put a delay. Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah, very cool.
Cool.
So I'll keep working on this. Did you guys want to cover anything in your sides, or shall we wrap the stream up for the night? I can have my dinner and we'll keep going.
I think we'll wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. I've posted what I did today into the blog, so if anyone's interested on more of the background game screen mechanism, then go and read the blog. Otherwise, I think that's it for the night.
Yeah,
Perfect. Well,
I'll post
catch you guys
in for the blog.
Done. I'll catch you guys on chat, and we'll stream tomorrow sometime. See you all. Bye.
See you
Take care.
tomorrow.